If you grew up in the early 2000s and enjoyed magical girl shows like I did, you may have come across a show about five color-coded girls with animal features who protected Earth from a group of alien elves and their monsters. For me, as an American, I first learned of that show as Mew Mew Power on the 4Kids channel. And I loved that show. I'd wake up every Saturday morning to watch it. However, at some point I realized, hey, where's the rest of this show? It just only stops after like 20-something episodes? So little kid me had to do some digging around on the internet until I found out that Mew Mew Power wasn't originally in English. It was actually a Japanese series called Tokyo Mew Mew, and 4Kids not only changed a lot of stuff when dubbing it, but they only got half of the actual series. They didn't even air all 26 dubbed episodes in the United States. They stopped at episode 23 for some reason. At this point, I started learning more about Tokyo Mew Mew and trying to watch each episode with subs in 3-part videos on YouTube. Damn, those were some dark times. Now the year's 2022, and like many other older anime, Tokyo Mew Mew is getting a revitalization. I'm making this video to provide a general history and overview on the series as a whole.
Right, ready?
Ugh, do we have to?
Yes! Mew Mew style, Mew Mew grace, Mew Mew power in your face!
Anyways, the name's Sybil, and while this video is mostly a big passion project, I might make more videos in the future too. Maybe more Tokyo Mew Mew stuff, or maybe other things I like too. For now, let's get started by talking about one of the main people behind this series.
久美先生にですね、来てもらいました。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
緊張してますね。
はい。
Mie Ikumi was born on March 27, 1979 in Osaka Prefecture. In 1997, at the age of 18, she won the 24th Nakayoshi New Faces Manga Award with her manga, The Rabbit Who Makes It Rain Stars. This short story was later published in the January 1998 issue of the magazine Run Run. Nakayoshi is one of the longest-running magazines aimed at young girls, having been around for 67 years now. The monthly magazine is published by Kodansha, and is known for series such as Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura, both of which were part of the magazine before Ikumi's works. Meanwhile, the magazine Run Run was a spin-off publication of Nakayoshi. This was where codenamed Sailor B and the Sailor Moon short stories were first released. Unfortunately, after a decade of publication, Run Run magazine went bankrupt and is no longer in business. Around the same time as The Rabbit Who Makes It Rain Stars, Ikumi also did another short story titled Sleeping Princess of Berry Forest. However, her first published work in Nakayoshi would be a manga adaptation of the magical girl anime Super Doll Lika-chan. I've never heard of this series before, but a quick search tells me that Lika-chan is a dress-up doll series. Lika-chan is kind of like Japan's answer to Barbie. So basically, imagine if instead of the Barbie movies, we got a 52-episode magical girl series. That was Super Doll Lika-chan. The Lika-chan manga ran from 1998 through 1999, making it 2 volumes in length. During this time, Ikumi was planning her next personal project, and she had always wanted to do a cat-type character even before her debut. She also wanted to do a horror series, and with these two ideas in mind, she presented to her editors the one-shot, Tokyo Black Cat Girl. Tokyo Black Cat Girl is about a girl who likes a boy, but one day she gets magic cat powers and a little puffball named Masha tells her she has to fight aliens to protect Tokyo. Ikumi's editors really liked the concept, but they asked her to design more characters with animal powers. My guess is that Nakayoshi wanted another Sailor Moon, because Ikumi eventually retooled her concept into a team of 5 girls. However, a concept can't go far all by itself. Mie Ikumi might be credited as character designer and general supervisor, but Tokyo Mew Mew was a combined effort by many. In fact, when you look up the Tokyo Mew Mew manga, there's always a second name alongside Ikumi, Reiko Yoshida. Reiko Yoshida was born on December 31st, 1967 in Hiroshima. She's a script and screenplay writer who has worked for many different anime series. Some of her work includes the Digimon Adventure and Adventure 02 films, K-On!, Kaleido Star, Girls and Panzer, and A Silent Voice. She's also written for live-action films, manga, and light novels. She's done it all, really. In the volumes of Tokyo Mew Mew, most extra notes are written by Ikumi, but a few are by Yoshida. Let me read the first Yoshida note, since it gives a bit of detail of when the two ladies met for the first time. For reference, I'm using the omnibus collection from Bookwalker. I first met Ikumi-sensei at a Chinese restaurant in a hotel in Tokyo. She came dressed in a pretty china dress for the occasion. She is very pretty, but is so nice that she would share nikujaga with her neighbors. I heard she would not only wear kitty ears, but a kitty tail as well. I thought I could do an interesting work with her, and became in charge of the story. The process of story making begins with a meeting with a brainy editor and a gorgeous editor, where we create a scenario consisting of dialogues and stage directions. We would finalize it after further discussion, and Ikumi-sensei would create a storyboard based on it. This is where she adds her ideas and makes a great manga. Besides Ikumi and Yoshida, there's of course a whole team behind the production of Tokyo Mew Mew. Ikumi provides staff credits multiple times throughout the series. She even made these little 4-panel style comics where we see little moments between her and some of the staff.
私、桃宮いちご13歳。ごく普通の中学1年生。突然地球の未来を救うミュウミュウになっちゃったの。でもドキドキすると勝手に耳と尻尾が出ちゃうし、エイリアン倒すまで普通の女の子に戻れないなんて聞いてないよ。
The story of Tokyo Mew Mew centers on Ichigo Momomiya, a girl who likes a boy and asks him out to a museum exhibit on endangered animals because he's an environmentalist and she knew he'd be interested in said exhibit. While there, an earthquake happens and Ichigo, along with 4 other girls, are hit by a laser that infuses them with the DNA of red data animals. Through the power of magic sci-fi, the animal DNA gives the girls superpowers and cute outfits. Now they are tasked with protecting Tokyo, and by extension the whole Earth, from aliens who want to take the planet for themselves. This is because the elf-eared aliens used to live on Earth a long time ago, but circumstances happened that forced them to leave. Now they've come back to Earth and found humans are ruining the planet. So the aliens create monsters and speed up pollution in order for humans to be eliminated. Also, the girls work as waitresses at a cute cafe which doubles as their secret headquarters, and Ichigo has 3 different guys who are into her. It's probably for extra drama, because it's hard to save the world when you're falling in love.
It's hard to save the world when you're falling in love.
The Tokyo Mew Mew manga will go on to be serialized in Nakayoshi from September 2000 through February 2003, with its chapters collected into 7 volumes. In North America, Tokyo Pop will be the first to localize the manga from 2003 through 2004. However, in 2011, Kodansha will retranslate and reprint Tokyo Mew Mew through the Omnibus collection. The manga was also translated into many other languages. In Ikumi's offer notes, she often mentions attending events and signings to promote the manga. She even talks about a time when she had to dress up in Ichigo's school uniform for a photo shoot. There was also an idol group called Mew 5 who were made to promote the manga. I don't think they had many actual idol activities, but they dressed up as the Mew girls and had one song called Mamori Taikara. Alongside the manga, Tokyo Mew Mew would release other merchandise as well. There were toys such as dolls and plastic weapons. Then there's the video games, with the one for the PlayStation being the game I've heard the most about. The PlayStation game released in 2002 and is a turn-based RPG that features some new characters designed by Ikumi, following specifications by the game publisher Takara. Of course, we can't forget to talk about the anime. Tokyo Mew Mew was a 52-episode-long series that aired from February 3, 2002 to January 26, 2003 on TV Asahi and TV Tokyo. The series was produced by Studio Piero and will go on to be dubbed into over 20 languages. Some of these dubs were of the original Japanese, while others dubbed the 4Kids English version. However, since 4Kids only ever did 26 episodes, these dubs either stopped at episode 26 or decided to continue from the Japanese version. I'd highly recommend Hika Yagami's YouTube channel, which features a lot of videos showing the differences between the dubs. A sequel manga series started serialization shortly after the anime ended. Tokyo Mew Mew a la Mode was released in Nakayoshi from April 2003 to February 2004, and then collected into 2 volumes. Reiko Yoshida would not return to write the sequel. Instead, Mia Ikumi was illustrator and writer. In true sequel fashion, our main lead Ichigo ends up leaving and is replaced. Beri Shirayuki is a young girl who visits Cafe Mew Mew and accidentally gets infused with the DNA of 2 animals, so she gets to be a cat girl and a bunny girl. This makes her super strong, and she temporarily becomes the new leader to help the other Mew girls. Although the aliens left Earth at the end of the first series, they left behind some monsters, and a group of humans have taken control of the monsters for their own plans. Also, Barry has a childhood friend, and she realizes throughout the story that she loves him. With the last chapter of a la Mode, the Tokyo Mew Mew story reached its end. Reiko Yoshida would continue her career as screenwriter, going on to even win awards. She won the Best Screenplay/Original Work at the Tokyo Anime Awards Festival twice, in 2014 and 2017. As for Mia Ikumi, she did release a few other manga in the early 2000s before quietly leaving the manga scene. From what I gathered, her second longest running manga after Tokyo Mew Mew was Koi Cupid, which was serialized in the magazine Komi Digi Plus from 2005 to 2008. That series was seemingly her last one. Mia Ikumi did have a personal website for some time, but it's defunct now, and I don't think she had much of a social media presence after that. She did pop back up in 2015 with a new art piece of Ichigo celebrating Nakayoshi Magazine's 60th anniversary. Then in 2019, Ikumi would return to design art for some new Tokyo Mew Mew merchandise. It's pretty fun to see how her art style changed over a decade. The new merchandise in 2019 turned out to be just the start of the Mew Mew news. With both the 20th anniversary of Tokyo Mew Mew and Nakayoshi's 65th anniversary coming in 2020, new projects began to be announced. In November 2019, Nakayoshi revealed a spin-off series, Tokyo Mew Mew Olé. It's supposed to be a triple pun with the Spanish olé and the Japanese pronoun ore and the French term aula. The writer and artist for this series is Madoka Seizuki, who has been in the manga industry for over a decade now, with works focusing on romance and lots of cute guys. Tokyo Mew Mew Olé continues this trend, since now the Mew Mews are a group of dudes. I haven't looked too much into this series yet, I've mostly just seen the character designs. I do know that the main guy is named Aoi Shibuya, and he becomes a cat boy. Then there's also the main girl lead named Anzu. So it looks like Aoi and Anzu are probably the main couple. There's 4 other guys who make up this new Mew Mew team. Personally, my favorite's the pink guy with glasses. I just think he's cute, and I think he's got dolphin DNA. That's all I really know. Anyways, alongside the launch of Tokyo Mew Mew Olé, that issue of Nakayoshi also announced something else for the anniversary. Reiko Yoshida and Mia Ikumi were teaming up again for a short sequel. Tokyo Mew Mew Return 2020 was a 2-chapter manga set after the events of a la Mode. It provided new redesigns for all 6 Mew Mew girls, along with some cute nostalgic fan service. Finally, in 2020, the biggest announcement arrived. A brand new anime was being developed called Tokyo Mew Mew New. With a new anime came new staff and voice actors. The production would be handled by Graphinica and their subsidiary, Yumeta Company. The decision was made to have an open audition for the voice actress of Ichigo. The winner would not only receive an exclusive contract with Pony Canyon's voice acting agency Swallow, but also make her singing debut as center of a voice actress idol group for the new anime. Over on the official Tokyo Mew Mew YouTube channel, a documentary series was released for the audition process. It was narrated by the original voice actress for Ichigo, Saki Nakajima.
あ、もしもし、はじめまして、中島咲です。
はじめまして。
はじめまして、東京ミュウミュウニュー声優アイドルオーディション、本当にお疲れ様でした。
ありがとうございました。
それでは、審査の結果をお伝えいたします。
はい。
天満祐希さんには、いちご役をお願いすることが決定しました。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Finally, in February 2021, our new Ichigo was announced, Yuki Tenma. The remaining 4 voice actresses were also revealed, each of them being new to voice acting. Together, the 5 make up the idol group Smoothie and have been releasing music and video blogs on the official YouTube channel. The first official trailer for the anime released on February 22, 2022, the Ultimate Cats Day. A second trailer came out in May, with an announcement of July 5th broadcasting. Sentai Filmworks would later announce English licensing and streaming on HiDive. Based on the trailer so far, the show looks to be a blend of the original manga, the first anime, the return sequel, and maybe also some original content for the new series. There's a moment in the first trailer where we see the magic sci-fi laser being fired. It splits into 4 colored lights, and we see the girls' reactions. But we don't see a blue light, and we don't see mint. This seems to imply that our rich bird may have already gotten her powers before episode 1. Personally, I'm pretty open to some story changes. The original anime was never a one-to-one adaptation of the manga, and actually some of the anime decisions seem to have been adopted by the manga later on. So I'm fine with changes as long as it still keeps to the spirit of the original work. I wish I could end my video here, just give y'all the release date and talk about how excited I am for this new adaptation of a series that was a big part of my childhood. But there is some sad news I need to bring up. It's part of the reason why I decided to make this video in the first place. On March 14, 2022, Nakayoshi released a statement on the sudden death of Mie Ikumi. She had died a week prior of a hemorrhage, and a private funeral was held by her close family. Her last works before passing were new manga covers for the entirety of Tokyo Mew Mew, along with new shorts for the volumes. She also oversaw the anime production during the past 2 years. The anime staff expressed that they will continue to produce the show with great care and carry on Ikumi's wishes. Tokyo Mew Mew is Mie Kumi's most iconic work. Her art and ideas, together with Reiko Yoshida's writing, the manga editorial staff, and the original anime staff, created a lovely story. And as the series got translated into many languages, it was able to reach the hearts of people from around the world. Even the 4Kids dub, that made so many wild localization changes and only told like half of the story, it still played a major part of my life. Looking at the promo material for the new series, I do get a sense that a lot of love is being put into it. The trailers look very pretty so far, with the art being very reminiscent of how Ikumi's art style has evolved. The Smoothie girls have also put in a lot of work into their roles and idol activities. It truly saddens me that Mie Ikumi isn't here to see how Tokyo Mew Mew New will be received by both nostalgic fans and a new audience. I want to finish this video by saying thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of it. I know I did at least. Like I said, this is mostly just a passion project for me. I wanted to do something to honor this series that I grew up with. I wanted to honor Mie Ikumi, and after thinking a little bit, I thought the thing I could do within my capabilities was try doing a video essay, even though this is still like the first time I've ever done this, and it's been a learning experience, but it's been fun. I want to read one of Ikumi's afterwards. This is from the final volume of Tokyo Mew Mew a la Mode. Just a little thing I want to read. So, now finally, to everyone who helped me create this work, to everyone who was involved in this project in any way, to everyone who was kind enough to read it, all my thanks, and a word to myself. Good job, you did well. February 9, 2004, 6 p.m. Mia Ikumi.